What is going on, everyone? This is Andrew O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. I'm also Director of Research at Leduc Trading. It is January 8th, 2021. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to talk about the price action in the indices. We'll talk about the volatility and what happened in the metals market today, which was an absolute puke. And then we're going to go into the hood, check out our sectors and style factors as we always do, take a look at some of my trades, and then we'll wrap up with options order flow. But before we jump in, quick risk disclaimer. Nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading parameters, trading plan, or risk parameters. And last but not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades, because that'll be the one that I get wrong. All right, let's jump right in. I am like kind of in one of those moods where like I'm so exhausted from the trading week and I'm just like in a silly mood. So let's dive in. I know it's super late too. Everyone's probably cracking a bottle already. Let's see. Let's check it out. Oh my gosh, we closed with a nice ramp. So for our box scores today, we had the S&P 500 up 0.57%. We had the NASDAQ QQQ up 1.29%. We had the IWM small caps down 0.22%. And we had the Dow Jones up 0.17%. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So let's dive right into it. Okay, enough of me with my nonsense here. Let's jump into the good stuff. If my toss will cooperate. Okay, there it is. So we are walking on the moon, folks. We are in the stratosphere in the indices. Okay. So if we take a look at this and we observe the long-term trend here. So we see before the election, we had a super bearish impulse. Everyone was like heading for the hills because the world was absolutely going to end with the election. Then when it didn't end, everybody started buying stocks again. We had a really nice uptrend. For about the past month or so, we were really just very slow and steadily moving sideways to up. And now you can see we're getting a nice breakout that looks not exactly like it's parabolic, but it is, you know, I guess kind of extended at this point, I would say. We hit our R1 pivot level at 3781 for the S&P 500, and we have another target at 3900. So who would have thunk it that we'd be getting to almost 4,000 on the S&P 500? At one point, you know, we're at like between 3,000 and 3,300. When people say like, "Oh, we're going to 4,000," I was like, "No way! That's an insane jump." But here we are. We're almost there. Now I would think, you know, it'd be almost impossible for us to not get there. We're so close. Which probably means I'm putting in the top. But let me just talk about the technicals. So we are looking bullish. We're above all the key moving averages, and we're getting pretty extended from the monthly value area high. So in terms of risk reward, I love taking trades when we're just starting to break out. Now things are definitely a little bit more extended, so you do have to be selective, but we're getting just this really nice move and lots of opportunities in the market to take advantage of, which is great. Let's see the Qs. And then the funny thing was like the gold market was pretty much like falling apart, you know, throughout today. I don't want to say falling apart. It's a little dramatic. It was drawing down, you know, had a pretty sizable down move. Let's see. Come on, toss. Oh my gosh. Wait for the program to respond. Work with me. Oh my gosh, the patient is flatlining. I might have to pull up my FinViz. Yeah, let me pull it up. And I'll see. Maybe toss will come around. Is it time for me to get a new machine? Might be. Or maybe I need a second machine. So let's see. Baidu. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. We'll go to the indices. We have the Qs. You can see the Qs are now pushing beyond that upper Bollinger Band. So when we are above the upper Bollinger Band, to me that's an indication like, okay, we're getting a little overbought here. I definitely want to look, to see if we end up getting a pullback, something of that nature. I want to make sure I'm at least taking a couple chips off the table. But this is bullish until proven bearish. You can see the IWM had a small drawdown today, down 0.22%. But again, this one is still very extended and still looking very bullish. Then we have the Dow Jones. Da-da-da. Same exact story. Up 0.17%, looking pretty extended and breaking out of that sideways trend. Let's take a look. We'll check out our heat map. And you can see that we had, throughout the day, this bread, like at one point it was looking pretty disgusting, but it looks like into the close we had a nice little ramp. You can see companies like Apple, basically all the FANG names were up. And when those FANG names are up, it is very tough to have any weakness in the market. Tesla just continues to run. We're going to talk a little bit about Tesla here. I'm just going to hop onto my soapbox here. So I see on my Twitter feed, and if you're doing this, you know who you are, but I'm seeing a lot of people that are talking about shorting Tesla. And to me, that is just the most nonsensical thing that you could talk about. Because Tesla, for me, when I think about Tesla, I'm like, why have I not been long this entire time? How do I get long? This asset is just insane. But people have been talking about shorting Tesla since back here. Since this thing was all the way back here on the chart. This thing has continued to fool the shorts every step of the way. The shorts have never won. So in terms of taking a high probability trade, is this thing extended? Absolutely. Is this thing divorced from the fundamentals? Absolutely. But why would you try to short one of these assets when you could short something that is, in a downtrend or just not really, has some weakness? Like everybody wants to be that hero that's shorting Tesla. I just don't understand it. I'll never do it. If somebody's going to make a lot of money shorting Tesla, it's probably not going to be me. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that was just a complete side rant. So let's take a look at our sectors and style factors. And you can see we have some new leadership at the top of this list. We have Solar ETF still in the number one spot, a little bit of a pullback today. We have the ARK Innovation Fund up 2.96%, which we are long. The cannabis stocks had a bit of a correction, down 0.61%. Then you can see GDX was moving towards the top of our list. I had such high hopes for GDX. And then lo and behold, down 4.82%, just getting whacked over the head. So yeah, somebody's dumping their gold. Let's see what else did well today. So we had ARK FinTech Fund up 1.72%. And we had consumer discretionary up. Oh my gosh, and KWeb. Let's take a look at KWeb. Wow, so this is, really nice breakout. Then we consolidated for only 2 days. And then another really nice push to the upside. So you can see, let's take a look at some of these names. Stocks like Futu, up again, ridiculous. We had stocks like Baidu, killing it. Baidu breaking out of that monthly value area to a new monthly value area high. So you can see we have a VPOC at 260. Do we get there? Probably. We'll see. Baidu. A bunch of those assets have been very bullish. Let's take a quick look at the style factors. We have International Momentum up 1.4%. Momentum up 1.65%. And then you can see what took a break today. We had the cyclicals and high beta, which were both red. For some of my trades, NTLA, I took a target in this name. NTLA is one that I do think has a long fundamental tail. This is an asset that I would like to stick with. But yeah, you can see it looks a little bit extended here. So I took a target on my position I entered back here. Spotify also took a target in this name. And you can see Spotify just with a beautiful candle breaking out. Spotify looks fantastic. Took a target at 350. Let's see T-Doc, because I have that one on as well. T-Doc, not showing the power, doing a little doji sideways. Not looking bearish either, though. And then another one that I traded is DraftKings, one of my favorite names. Anybody that's been, watching me for a little while knows I absolutely love this name. I've been long from the high teens, and I continue to play it via options. So I listen to every DraftKings earnings call. I follow the company pretty closely, and I sort of understand like the long-term vision of what they were trying to achieve. We actually got an interesting story today coming out. And I posted about it right in here. Dragonfly, that's another one I entered today. But this was the agreement right here. You can see they signed a deal with the Drone Racing League. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the Drone Racing League. I became familiar with it about a year ago. It looks so cool. It's literally competitors that are racing drones, and they have like an aerial obstacle course, and they go all around. But to me, this partnership was big. And the reason why is because DraftKings is showing me time and time again that they are executing on their long-term vision. They are doing partnerships on partnerships. And one thing that I am looking for is them to jump into esports betting. And esports are already bigger than regular sports. And I don't think many people understand that, because it's very tough to actually fathom that esports, watching people play video games, is going to be bigger than, watching somebody play basketball, football, what have you. But this to me shows me that this management team is so aggressive in trying to go after the next big thing, and they have a strong vision for what they're doing. So this to me just solidified my bullishness on DraftKings, and I bought some March 50 strike calls on DraftKings today, and I bought them in size. So rarely for my options trading, I'm pretty much like, I trade small size for each trade. For this one, I was like, you know what? DraftKings has been doing nothing for the past however long. I see we're not even overbought yet. This management team is doing the right thing. I am going to trade this one to the bullish side. So you can see here, we're above the monthly point of control, and we almost tagged that monthly value area high at 53. But at the very least, my view is like, okay, maybe we don't go like super, super bullish and get to like 70 plus, although I think that's in the cards at some point. But at the very least, maybe we can at least get to this prior swing high of like $53. And then that's still a pretty nice trade, in the grand scheme. So we'll see what happens with DraftKings. Another name that I traded as a degenerate today was Dragonfly. Dragonfly, shout out to my boy Matty Ice, brought this to my attention. And Dragonfly is a name that we had traded. He had brought this one up to me maybe like 6 months ago or a year ago, and we scratched the trade because I saw like Dragonfly's not doing anything. I looked into the management team, thought the CEO was an idiot, and didn't really think he was very good. So I was like, you know what, I'm getting out of this. But now I am seeing some things that are a little bit different with this chart. So what I mean by that is look at the volume bars over here. And this is a penny stock. I never trade penny stocks. They are super risky. I position sized it for max loss, because when penny stocks blow up, a lot of times there's no liquidity and you can't even get out. So I'm not about to act like this isn't a high risk trade. But look at the differences in the volume. So almost no volume. And now look at this over the past couple of weeks. What's different? What's changing here? and I will give you a little insight into what could be changing. And this is just a speculation. I could be totally wrong on this. I am actually wrong 100% of the time in my trades. So, yeah, there's that. I'm going to pull up right here. Reasons why this looks like it could be pretty bullish. So the volume and the technical signal to me is, okay, that's bullish. Then this right here that came out January 7th. Dragonfly is an award-winning industry-leading manufacturer and systems developer. They are going to be attending this year's Consumer and Electronics Show, taking place virtually. And on January 13th, they are going to be doing a product demo. So for me, I'm like, this thing has no liquidity. And they do drone technology. And there's this move I'm hearing about, like with this Democratic administration, of more closely regulating police officers and potentially, having like body cams, drones, etc. So there's like a little narrative, a little story to marry with the stock. And they're doing a product demo. So you have a bit of a catalyst on January 13th. The other thing that I saw as well is they just issued a new delivery drone patent on January 6th. So there's that. And then this, on December 31st, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has selected the use of the Dragonfly Commander drones to do phenotyping and other related data collection and analysis. So I'm seeing these things. Also, when I did my research about 6 months ago, I saw that I believe there were like members of the department, former members of the Department of Defense joining the board of Dragonfly. So something told me this thing is either going to be a complete penny stock pump and dump, zero stock, or maybe it does something. Now that it's moving, I just wanted to position in it because last thing I want is for me to have known about this opportunity and then 2 weeks from now, this is like the next meme stock. And I'm like, wow, I totally should have gone for it. So I bought some shares at around 90 cents. And this one, we'll see what happens with it. But it looks like it could at least be a little pump and dump. And that's the thing, like, I certainly don't want to be a pump and dumper. That's why I'm not like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. Like, this thing could be a zero for all I know. I'm just trading it. So we'll see what happens with Dragonfly. Talked about Spotify. That about does it for my trades for today. That's the vast majority of what I did. And then we will walk through some quick options order flow. And I'm going to try to wrap this up quick, under 20 minutes, if we can manage it. My machine needs a break. All right, so we do have a fair amount of options activity today. We have our usual offenders. So we have, of course, Tesla players. Because why would there not be Tesla players? This stock is like an unlimited cash register. So that just makes sense. We have a player coming in for Baba, literally on the open at 9:30. And you can see Baba had a nice day today. So it does look like it's putting in some sort of base here. And this stock, in terms of news flow, it almost can't get any worse than like the CCP hates you, your CEO might be dead, like you're totally done for. So we'll see what happens with Baba. I'm probably not going to trade this one, but I'm sure some people are eyeing up that gap fill at around 253 on this stock. Let's take a look. Plug, which is another one I have on the books. Let's go from a couple days ago. I talked to you guys about how I put this on in the overnight market on the announcement of that partnership. Just absolutely mooning. This market's ridiculous. It's a complete bubble, but it's, while it's going, why not? And then we have RVMD. I've actually never heard this name. Let me see. I always like looking when I haven't heard of a name. Revolution Medicines. What did these guys do? Clinical stage precision oncology company focusing on developing therapies to inhibit targets primarily with the RAS and mTOR signaling pathways. So maybe somebody thinks their clinical trial is going to go well. But that biotechs, I typically don't play those. We have, looks like somebody tried to buy the dip in gold. And gold's pretty interesting. Let me just pull that up. So gold, this was just a devastating day for the gold bulls. And I am a gold bull. Like, I have a silver miner on that took a hit today. I'm pretty much at even. I think I'm down like 6% on the position now, so not really that bad. Yeah, GLD completely tore through the monthly value area in one fell swoop, but it found support at the monthly value area low. So I'll be watching gold for potentially a bounce play next week. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, gold definitely catching some heat. Silver as well. This thing, it just looked like the pain was not going to stop. Let's see. Yeah, silver did a pretty similar move. This one found support at the monthly point of control. So yeah, it looks like a dip buyer came in today. Let's see. We'll see if there's any more really unusual activity. I noticed somebody continues. Oh, First Solar. Let's take a look at that one because the solar stocks are hot and they did take a bit of a breather today. Yeah, ugly red candle. This thing has a lot of ugly red candles. Yeah, looks like they are bullish on this. And then I also saw snow, which this stock has never really gained traction since the IPO. It's just continued to move around in a bit of a range. That about does it for this options activity. I will be posting my affiliate link to Cheddarflow in the description to this video. If you'd like to, click the link and sign up for a free 7-day trial of Cheddarflow. So for this weekend, what I'm going to be doing, this is my first week in the investing championship. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. Not getting my hopes up, but we'll see what happens. This weekend, I'm going to be doing some market scanning, updating my trading setup in TradingView. TradingView actually posted some really cool indicators a couple days ago via Twitter, and I might be looking to add some of those to my setup in TradingView. Usually in my videos, I just show my TOS setup, but I do have a TradingView setup as well. I'll be building out my watch list for things to look at next week. Then I'll also be relaxing. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I just want to thank everybody who, follows the content, supports the channel, supports the Twitter. I really appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend. I'll see you all Monday.